Hello, this is Jon Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in the series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 104, A Room with a View.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm Jon Miller. As always, I'm joined by two guys in Telluride. I'm joined with Ben Clark and Josh Butson. How you doing, Ben?
Hey, John. What's going on?
Not too much. How you doing yourself, Josh?
I'm having a good day.
Good.
Not too bad at all.
Well, that's good because this week's episode is going to deal with something that we really haven't seen too much of in the show, and that's what it actually takes to establish a camp higher up on the mountain. Now, certainly in Everest footage from 2003, you see a lot of these camps, but we don't really show any of them being built. That was typically because they would be built, and Ben and some other people on the permit, they'd walk into camp and everything would already be set up. But this Annapurna 4 expedition was very different because it was all done in alpine style, which means these guys were carrying everything on their own. They were completely just relying on themselves, not on any assistance from any other climbers or staff members aside from cooking down at base camp. So this is just Camp 1 we're going to get to today, but it shows you just how much effort needs to be put into establishing these camps. I think it's pretty interesting. So let's get up. Let's go work up a sweat higher up on the mountain. So here we go. Last week's episode, we actually started climbing. And what was your goal for this day, you guys?
We were hoping to get up this slope. You know, naivety, I mean, trust me, it doesn't matter how long I spend in the mountains. Like, naivety made me think that maybe this slope would be somewhat consolidated because we'd seen an Austrian team run up it the day before. But we didn't really experience a refreeze, which I attributed to being my partner's fault, which was a stupid idea. In fact, it just didn't refreeze, so it wasn't warm. So we pretty much had an epic time switchbacking our whole way up this slope. As you can see to the left, there's a gigantic avalanche path.
How about that, All-Star?
Should we go past you?
No, I'll stop right there. It's going to be a little firmer in here, but I'm not sure how much, and I am done leading, sir.
Not bad.
Nice fucking work, man. God, that was ridiculously hard. Josh is right, it didn't freeze last night. And it was just like, it was crazy. Whew!
So I was pissed we didn't leave earlier when it really didn't matter.
Now was that
I was
not
wrong.
typical that things hadn't consolidated?
Yeah, you typically would hope they would, but not in the Annapurna region. The valleys on the other side of the ridges stay pretty warm, and I wasn't. I just had no idea. And obviously Josh and Tim didn't either. We were all along for the same ride, but I just had it in my head that it was going to be good snow.
Psyched. It's been a really hard day.
And he was leading.
And as Tim said, I was leading. So we just made it up to our first rest stop. We're at about 17,000 feet. Not so bad, but we're definitely not really feeling the altitude so much as we are just feeling the conditions. It's really hot out here. And we're talking like, I got a t-shirt, as you guys can see, t-shirt. Really hot, ears are burning, face is burning, freezing or frying. Welcome to the Himalaya, baby. We are on our way.
Coming out of my nose is a gigantic cliff-hanging booger.
That looks steep.
And this thing's like, yeah, that's Josh up there at the front. This is what, having Josh and Tim along on I'm always psyched to participate in any trip with them because this is what usually makes Himalayan climbing so incredibly difficult for people who like to do technical climbs, is a lot of it is the approach to technical pitches, and this is just a really steep slope of snow, and it's not easy to get up. It's wet. We're all really sweaty and hot. The sun's beaming off and burning us, and you're just trying to slog up this 40, 45 degree slope that's exceptionally steep. But wet and unconsolidated, and then it just turned into more of that as we got higher.
Yeah, this is Tim up there. This is just above where we actually ended up making camp. The original camp is actually up above this section where the Austrians had pitched their tent while they tried the peak, of which we're really glad we didn't end up pitching our camp there. But yeah, Tim pretty much waded up here and was up to his waist and chest in snow up above here trying to get through this section, which wasn't exactly gonna happen at that moment. We had to wait for it to refreeze like we wanted it to. It was pretty miserable. Took a long time to go a very short distance before we could just called it and said, well, we got a good spot down here for our camp when we pitch tent right here.
Yeah, it comes up to a nice shelf up there. You'll see this shot again of Tim. This is just wallowing in snow-covered rock that is just, it's like swimming uphill. And his ice axe just plunges right into that deep snow. Mm-hmm. You just can't move, and it's precarious because you've got a bunch of rocks underneath you, and it's just gonna. The potential worst case scenario on that would be that just a slab of wet snow just suddenly peels off there and slides down 10 feet, and then you just got nothing but rocks that are wet.
How do you guys kind of decide who's going to lead a certain pitch? How does that all come to play when you're on the mountain?
I don't know.
A lot of times it just comes down to possibly who finished the day would not typically start the day the next day, depending if there's a rest day in between or not. But all that comes down to who's feeling the best first thing in the morning. I don't know myself, sometimes I don't feel best right first thing in the morning, but once I get moving, then I feel great and I can take over at any point in time.
Yep. Although I've seen Josh walk out of the tent on some days where he said he wasn't feeling good and just totally knock it out.
That has something to do with my off the couch style.
Yep. He just needs a little warm up.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, this is you, right?
Yeah, this is how we picked a spot. And so what we do is we excavate snow out of the slope in order to build a flat platform for us to camp. And not a very quick process, even when you got 2 or 3 people.
This is like that mountaineering course I have with the hosses.
Down here it's not bad. If you fall there, you'll end up on... Ben will stop you.
Yeah.
And for all you viewers, we did help Ben out eventually. But,
Might as well make a snow cave.
What's that?
Might as well make a snow cave.
Yeah. Well, I was going to build a crapper over there.
Where? Over here?
Right here.
Yeah.
The line of demarcation.
look at that man work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we climb light and fast, and we shovel light and fast.
Yeah, I bet everyone watching was going to think that we'd see the entire process of digging a platform for the tent in the podcast, but no, I did compress the time here. So the show isn't always exciting, but it needs to be more exciting than that.
Yeah, this is true.
We got a lot of snow to move.
Do it. Now with my pack on, no way.
Exactly. That's where it's like, if we can't, because the snow is so soft, your pack's going to have so much drag on it, it's not going to do anything.
Well,
Work on it if you want. Let's try and get it back towards the back here first. All this
Start
stuff.
here.
What do you think?
Digging.
fuck, that was hard.
Yeah, this snow is it's too soft right now.
That's an understatement.
I did look at some of this footage, and I think some footage coming up talks about what it was like, and I think Tim said it best when he said, I think he said it was, what did he say it was like, you guys remember what he says? He says it's like,
I've never really cruised around with a picket on my harness.
some food. trying to remember what it is.
I don't know if you saw that. Every time I picked up my right foot, it hit the picket.
Yeah. That's all part of the kinks.
Taking the brake. Yeah, when you sped it up, you couldn't see me taking those brakes. You dive in and you start pushing all that snow around, then all of a sudden about
Oh my God.
2 minutes into it, you just stop and you start breathing and you're like, am I going to vomit? Man, do I feel
There's
okay?
a spot of moisture on the camera lens.
When you take your head and you shovel and then pick it up fast, you definitely feel
It's
it.
on the inside.
Which way did you envision?
Applesauce, that's what he says.
Applesauce.
Oh, yeah, it
That's
is
the way the weather's going to be coming.
quite similar to applesauce.
Ben, I think you're talking about that spot. Yeah, there's condensation inside the lens.
Front, going that
That
way. We'll put the crapper right there.
it's actually, yeah, it's inside between the elements, and that's
Good
something.
Lord.
There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Yeah. So how much space do you guys need to have in order to decide you want to set your tent there, or is it just as much as you can get, or was this the only place, or did you kind of look around
I'd
for a bit?
say 8 feet by 12 feet is really about right. And then, this is a 3-person tent, and we excavate out a floor in front of the vestibule so you can actually sit down on the front of the tent, and then you have room for your backpacks and stuff like that. You can leave your boot shell in there.
Yeah, another important thing is we found a place that we felt was as safe as it could be in regards to avalanche danger, rock fall, weather, winds, things like that. Like that face that was up above us that Tim was on earlier, trying to wade through the snow. We knew that wasn't going to avalanche into our tent and take our tent out. So we felt like it was pretty decent right there. And then there was a little bit of a run out, roll, not too steep of a slope down below the tent that you'll see here in a little bit, that goes down, and the thing you don't see is it does drop off.
About 1,000 feet.
Roughly 1,000 feet vertical, and then it sort of rolls out at the bottom. You can end up at base camp pretty quickly. When you get up in the middle of the night or in the middle of the morning when it's still dark out, you have to do your duty. You want to really know where you are.
Yep.
Don't want to go wandering in the wrong direction.
I was going to say, and where you guys are is pretty much in the clouds at this point. It's just from the next few episodes, there are some amazing scenic shots. It really does.
Yeah.
That definitely was a beautiful location to spend some time. Just really amazing. Look at all that.
Yeah, and that spot eventually goes away.
Yeah, once the camera warms up in the sun, it probably helped get rid of some of that.
Excavating around the tent.
Yeah, I think that's Tim. What's so what's that for?
He doesn't want lumps in the side of the tent to sleep on.
Yeah,
That's part of it.
That's part of it.
that's the best part of it.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, so we're just kind of, I think we were all just kind of hanging out, seeing how we felt. This is our first day up really high on the mountain, and that slope beneath us had just kind of taken a lot of energy out of all three of us, so we just decided to hang in some bad weather for a day, and then start pushing up the mountain the next day. I mean, our typical plan is you just kind of set out, and you're like, well, the goal is to just go as high as you possibly can, day after day after day after day, instead of constantly trying to wake up and push another camp up higher, then come back down to a lower camp and sleep and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter. If you feel like taking a rest day, you just take one. As long as you're out of objective hazard, there's no real issue with it. And this was one of those days where we had a good, beautiful campsite and clouds surrounding us, and just we're like, well, why don't we hang out and give ourselves a day to rest and acclimatize, and get up tomorrow and see what happens.
I noticed, Josh, you were wearing down booties.
I was.
Yeah, so you bring those up there with you on all these trips?
I try to on the higher trips when I know I'm gonna, especially be in ski boots for any length of time. It gives you something to walk around in that's a little bit drier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I've had issues with frostbite on my feet in the past, so definitely it's
You're
nice to get out of something that's
sensitive?
wet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, very sensitive. Yeah.
I love my down booties.
You're awesome.
Now, did you guys expect to be using this campsite, further on in the trip, or was this pretty much only going to be a 1-night or 2-night deal here?
Yeah, it's just there to use. At this point, we're just thinking, okay, a camp, because this tent has to go up with us.
Got it. Okay.
We had an extra rest day there, so we spent the extra time needed to establish it as best as we could. Then if we had to come back and set up the tent again here, the majority of the work was done if there wasn't a big snow or wind event that filled in the tent site itself.
So, Ben, you're sitting inside the vestibule right there then, right?
Yep.
It's a nice size.
Yeah, it's a good tent. It's a Mountain Harbor Trango 3.1. It's big. I mean, you can fit 3 people in there comfortably, and it's not a bad thing.
Of which, Ben, I do have that tent. It was still in my garage from using it this summer. So if you're looking for it, I have it. I was
as long as the poles are still in there. Yeah. No, we're good.
They are.
Perfect. We have a tent. Yeah, I'm psyched. This next trip, I've decided to bring a deck of cards. I don't play a lot of cards, but I have a feeling they may come in handy.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of the work you put in that camp just to pass the time.
Yeah, a lot of it.
The other Jon Miller that's going to join us this coming spring, he not the one that's on the air with us right now. He's wondering about how many books he's able to bring on the trip. He was wondering if he could hire another porter just to carry 80 books for him. I've told him more and more about sitting around a base camp, as all of you as viewers have seen. There's a lot of downtime. I'm not a big reader, but the other Jon Miller is, and he's just thinking of a way to pass the time.
I don't know what you're saying, Josh. I think that the entire expedition's always exciting. I'm always on the edge of my seat, wondering what's going to happen next. It's not like you guys spend any time just staring at nothing at base camp.
That's right. Well, when there's a whiteout, we can see the whiteout. But other than that.
All right. Well, next week's episode, Ben and I have talked about it in a previous episode. It might have been last week or 2 weeks ago, but there's a big event that happens, and Tim actually makes a very important decision about the expedition and how he fits into it and what he was looking to get out of it. And Ben luckily filmed the entire thing, and I'm really happy that Tim was able to be honest and really talk about what he was going through at the time. And so next week's episode is going to be one of the most important probably of this expedition, if not one of the more interesting of the entire rest of Everest. So I really look forward to see what everyone thinks about it. And I guess we'll pick up next week. So thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, John.
And we will be back next week. Bye. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes. A one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options, will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest: The Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.